Don't worry about things. Keep believing. I heard those words in a dream a couple weeks ago when the Lord spoke to me. Don't worry about things. Keep believing. And I want to bring this message to you today. Paul said in 2 Corinthians 5:7, "For we walk by faith and not by sight." Faith in the Greek means to believe, to trust. In Hebrews 11, it's known as the faith chapter. It explains faith this way. In Hebrews 11:1, it says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." That word substance in the Greek means assurance, confidence. And the word evidence in the Greek means conviction. So I want to read it this way with those words included. Now faith is the substance or the assurance, confidence of things hoped for, the evidence or the conviction of things not seen. Conviction, when you're convicted of something, it's a little bit stronger than a belief. It's, I'm convicted about this. Like, you really believe it. It's a strong belief. Some people take pride in their political convictions. Whatever it is, it's something you firmly believe. And it's called a conviction. Now, faith is the substance, the assurance, the confidence of things hoped for, the evidence or the conviction of things not seen. You really, really believe in the thing you don't see. You're very confident of that to the point of being convicted about it. Very interesting. So faith, it deals with the future. Faith is about what's coming. It's what you don't see, but it's always about the future, things to come. And it's about believing in those things that are unseen. When we hope for something, we wish for something, that is faith. And we believe that when we have this faith and we hold this strong trust, this strong confidence in what we don't see to the point of conviction, when you really believe it and you have a vision of it in your mind, or some people make vision boards or faith boards, I like to call them, of things that they're praying about, hoping for, wishing for, to help them see it before it materializes. That's faith. That's a conviction. That's a strong confidence that even though I may not feel it and see it in the natural now, I believe in the future. It's going to happen, that I will see it. You're certain, you're confident of that thing. Hebrews goes on in verse 2 and says, "Through their faith, the people in days of old earned a good reputation." Verse 3, "By faith, we understand that the entire universe was formed at God's command, that what we now see did not come from anything that can be seen." Verse 6, "And it is impossible to please God without faith. Anyone who wants to come to him must believe that he is, God exists, and that he rewards those who sincerely or diligently seek him." Verse 7, "It was by faith that Noah built a large boat or an ark to save his family from the flood. He obeyed God, who warned him about things that had never happened before." Back in Noah's time, it didn't rain. Water would come up like a mist, but in those days, it didn't rain like how we know it now. So God was telling him to build this boat. He showed Noah that there was this huge flood coming. These were things that Noah had never seen before. He had no clue about any of that kind of thing like we do today. But in faith, he obeyed God about things that he was unfamiliar with, things he didn't understand, things that he'd never seen before. And in verse 11, it says, "It was by faith that Sarah was able to have a child. Though she was barren and was too old, she believed that God would keep his promise." I'm going to skip to verse 27. "And it was by faith that Moses left the land of Egypt, not fearing the king's anger. He kept right on going because he kept his eyes on the one who is invisible." You can read the rest of the chapter yourself. I just wanted to highlight a few things: Noah, Sarah, and Moses. And I want to ask, has there ever been a time like Noah that you believed in something that nobody else did? Maybe something that never happened before in your life, in your family, in your business. When you believed and everybody laughed at you, "Oh, come on, that's impossible," and then it happened. How many world records have been broken because of that? Where people said, "Oh, that can't happen," and then someone breaks the record, then everyone else starts breaking the record. Are you one of those people who believe in something that nobody else does? Like Noah, something that's never been done before? Because you've held that faith. You've looked at the invisible with hope and confidence and conviction that you believed it was going to happen, and then it did. And everyone was just like, "Wow, that's amazing." That's faith. Or how about Sarah? She had a promise in her heart from God, and she believed and held on to that for many years, her and Abraham. And that promise was later fulfilled when everyone else said it was impossible. Or Moses, he had every reason to be afraid of that Pharaoh. Every reason. Has there been times where everyone said, "You should be so afraid. Like, why aren't you afraid?" And maybe you are. But you hold on to that faith and that hope with confidence and conviction, believing in those things that you don't see yet, believing in God, the unseen, and you look fearless to everybody else because you're holding on to that word, you're holding on to that hope, you're holding on to that wish, pushing through the fearful circumstances. Don't worry about things. Keep believing. And I want to pray with you. In Jesus' name, I pray, God, that everyone listening to this message will start believing again in those things that they may have gotten doubtful in. Like Noah, to keep believing in the impossible and the things that maybe they have never seen happen before. Or like Sarah, to hold on to those promises in their heart. Or like Moses, not to give into the fear, but hold on to faith. Keep believing that their eyes will be fixed on what's invisible. Help them to keep believing. Help us to keep believing and not worry about things.